Hi, everybody. I'm about 30 seconds early. Hello, Angla. Hello, Faye Cole, Candy Mullen, uh, and Shays for being here. I appreciate it. We have about 8 people watching us right now, so I'm going to wait a little bit longer and tell you I got 12 questions in off my posting. And I know, Angla, you've seen the posting. I got a lot of comments from people on how pretty that my thumbnail was. It reminded me of some of those pictures you sent me from Finland last year. And if you don't know it, Angela lives up in Finland and they get snow. They get lots of snow. Hello, Niru. Uh, we've had, not here, thank God, but in Michigan, I have a friend who lives right near Kalamazoo where they had like a 5 mile pileup, and I saw pictures of it, and reminds me of as the life as a small child in Illinois with lake effect snow. Not a lot of fun. But we're all going to sit here and be warm and toasty by the computers and look at some questions. Yes, snow is definitely a 4 letter word. And I'm sure in Finland they must have all sorts of descriptions for snow. I remember when I was in high school, we had the opportunity, if you qualified for certain things, to go to the University of Chicago. I lived on a short train ride outside Chicago. And we'd go in on some certain Saturdays and they'd have experts in different subjects talk to us. And one time the expert we had was a person who is an expert in Eskimo, um, Inuit, I think it was Inuit language. Anyway, they have 20 different words for snow. And I guess if you lived up there, you'd need 20 different words for snow. I just need one. And it means white, very cold stuff that falls down, makes things slicky. So, but I hope if you like a white Christmas, you can have a white Christmas. If you don't like white Christmas, you don't have to have one. If you like a seashore Christmas and putting your toes in the sand, I was talking to someone who lives part time in the Bahamas, or maybe it's Bermuda, but she was saying she's counting the days till they go for their long end of winter, because where they lives in Canada goes down to their end of winter in the sunny climes of Bermuda. And that sounds lovely. Well, there's 26 of you here now, and I'm going to kind of go to some of the banners. Um, yeah, these are a couple. Oil painter really liked the thumbnail with the snow in the trees. I don't know. That must have been the most incredible wind, and whoever took that picture of the patience of Job to catch it just like that, unless they know those trees do that every year. There's another couple people who really like the thumbnail. I try to find ones that match kind of where we are weather-wise or earth-wise or energy-wise. And we're in a lot of fun energy now. I cannot tell you how much fun it has been for the blue candles and meeting all people. Today is day 6 at 7 o'clock. And it will be the inimitable Mr. Shea, Danny Shea from Bathrobe Tarot. Last night, if you saw the show, it was a person who I consider a personal angel delivered to my life to help keep me sane. She's a lifelong adult friend that we met 45 years ago, and we talked about that. She's also very psychic, and she's also very intuitive and has shown up at points in my life and got me back into reading tarot because I'd gotten away from it, what with raising small children, going to graduate school and whatever. Can't imagine why. And she just showed up at my doorstep. We tell the whole story in there one night and said, "You know how to read these?" And I said, "How did you know that? I don't think I ever told you that." She said, "Well, you know how to read these, and we got to figure them out." And she still has one of the first decks we got when we started reading again together. So there's just all kinds of fun people like that are in our lives. But we're going to start. We have some past life questions, which is why you'll see the past life uh, on my table. And we have a couple of past life questions. But the first question we have comes from Inflow Reiki Healing. And she said, I'm planning on making a move and deciding between a location close to the mountains or one close to the oceans. I think I did this question before, but it still showed up on one of my asked but not answered sheets, which is what I do with your leftover questions. I try to go harvest them and put them on a sheet to help me move forward. So we're going to just look, we're going to do 2 readings, and we're going to do close to the mountains the first 5 and close to the oceans the second. And we'll see what kind of an answer we get. Okay. And this one is close to the mountains. Not looking so good for the mountains, girls. Okay. Close to the ocean. Well, right now it says they're both are telling me you're kind of in a dither and you just kind of want to get away, and you're not thinking that clearly. So I don't know that I'd make actually, if these were your 2 choices, I'll do stay put because I left that one off. This one's like a no. This is I'm hurt and I just want to get out of here. This is you have a better financial connections at the ocean. You're not quite sure how you're going to make the money to be there. But actually the ocean suits your nature better. It keeps you better balanced. But there's a lot of money and you're not sure exactly what your goals are by going to the ocean except to get away. So let's see about staying put and figuring out whatever's wrong and then deciding if we're not just in a snit to move, if that's a good option. So this is staying put. Staying put is you need to do that. You've got 2 10s. You've got actually among this whole reading, you have 3 10s. Means it is a time to end, but you need to figure out what the problem is that's driving you away from being able to make a happy place for you to live. You need to shed whatever these encumbrances are without any sense of guilt. Where you are, you just don't feel it's suited to you. But there are some things there that are appealing to you because they may be stormy seas, but they're what you're used to. Let me see what I do. Okay, I'm going to pull an Angels and Oracles on whether you should just wait until we're into 2024 before you make this decision. And I could do it with the pendulum. I've got one out, but we're going to see about what the Oracle cards say about making the decision. And I'm asking if you should make the decision in 2024, not right today. Okay. And it's divine magic if you wait till 2024. And this reads that your wishes, goals, dreams, and accomplishments will be focused on. It looks almost like the 10 of Cups, the rainbow. So I would say you're better off if you wait till 2024 because you're going to have some more clarity about your own motives. I think you know why you want to get away. I mean, I think you understand the energy around you, but whatever it is, if you don't settle it where you are, you're going to carry that energy with you to the new place. So wait, and the answer will become obvious. And I'd say it's really in the first quarter to half year in 2024. Okay. Okay. I'm feeling down and I'm feeling drawn to reach out to my dad, whom I haven't talked to for a few years. I feel I'm ready to reunite with him. Could you pick up an energy around this? So we're going to do about going back. I assume you mean sometime during this holiday season, but we'll look and see if we get a timing card. Michaela reaching out to her dad. For dad. It'll be this winter, and it's when you've decided you've done enough introspection within yourself. He's not changed much, but he is somewhat better with this moodiness than he used to be. But right now, today, you're not going to get what you want from this. I'm going to look at the Ace of Pentacles. I said we'd look for a date card. Ace of Pentacles is winter, which starts 21st of December and goes to March, into March. So let's see what's going to happen. Yeah, that's a much better time for you. The way these cards break down is you need to be really sure about what you're moving towards, and you're not sure yet. But you want to go back because you just know it's for your own good healing. And it's really, you're not going to try to fix him or do anything else. And you're going to know when to go because you're going to be ready to ride, to move the chariot forward. And it's to seek your own sense of self-balance. I think you feel like even if you go back and a lot of the old problems are still there, you've made the outreach and you're doing that for yourself. And that's a good thing. Let me put him and see where he is. Okay. Let's see. Let's see where he is. I read reverses, so the King of Wands I'm seeing here is a man who's been relatively bright, pretty entrepreneurial, pretty much used to be able to think for himself, but right now he's hot-tempered on something, or has gotten hot-tempered in the past on some things. So let's see, where's Dad? You know, and I don't know what age your father is, but don't wait too long. Yeah, he's kind of done some thinking about this. He's ready to forgive and forget. He's of two minds about it, but he's in the same state you are. Both have the Knight of Swords upside down. You're not coming to live with him or anything. You just would like to. And this is the Five of Cups, which is crying over spilt milk. Whatever came between you before, it's somewhat diminished. But this is his head and his heart fight, and I think that's something both of you have, that kind of stubbornness. And but I think he'll be more amenable to it than you might have thought he would be. Oh, this is my new lady. She found my channel through the through Terry's. Excuse me, I'm having asthma problems with the winter. Through Terry's holding your light, holding your space. I'm sorry, channel. Oh, I don't know. I didn't realize her question cut off so quickly. Well, let's see. Audrey, I have a way of going back and looking and finding out what that question is. So just wait 1 second. Okay. What she wants is some specific guidance and light about the new spirit coming in. So I'm going to see if I can hone in on something specific for her. I'm going to have a very, very peaceful Christmas. My middle daughter, Casey, is in New York City visiting her best friend. It's been the first time since before COVID they were able to get together. And Casey's running around Brooklyn. So if you see a young woman with kind of shaved sides to her head and longer blonde hair that looks just like me, and you're in Brooklyn, that's my daughter, Casey. And she's with her friend Allie, and Allie has incredibly long black hair, and they're out romping around New York. So we're going to see what is in the light for Audrey. Okay, what you've got in the light for you, and these are the cards of the past. This is what's going on right now. You're beginning to understand more of how all this works, and you're feeling justified in some. You're beginning to understand some of the things you felt in the past that you thought that's wrong. How the hell can I know that? You haven't fully come to understand your enlightenment, but there's this could be a male or female, but there's a bright entrepreneurial person near you who is helping you understand your light. What you're coming out of the past is you tried to seek temperance, you tried to seek balance in your life. And this card is the I'm out of here card when it's right side up. Upside down, it means you want to stay stable. You want to come to terms with this new awakening. I think you're feeling a lot of the awakening energy, and it's moving you in the right place. If you don't know much about tarot, the judgment card means when all the things that have happened around you, a kind of a karmic card, show up and you begin to understand it. You're not quite there, but you're around friends who are being more bright and enlightened, and you're helping them and they're helping you. You're both learning it together. So I think that would be my hit of what the blue light means for you. And yeah, Terry's an awesome person, and I really enjoyed doing that show with her. Past life reading for Millie. So that's why we have the past life card now. For those of you who don't know how this works, we're going to start with is Millie male or female in the life that she lived in? Yeah, she was female because it's only swinging to here on the male side, it's swinging out to there on the female side. This is real quick, Millie. With this many questions, I can't do a really in-depth past life, but I can look at it. Okay. Roll me the stones about her karma and her current state with regards to this past life. Yep, you did it, and you did it with great harmony, because this is your petrified wood, which is an ancestor stone. It's something you've done. You took it on before in times when it was more of a male profession, but you made it work. And what you find is that your art, being drawn towards art and artistic things, you probably showed it as a younger person. It's now becoming much clearer for you as an older person. And this is the citrine, which is the good luck stone. And one of the reasons you have trouble coming to terms with your artistic pursuits in your past lives is because it pulled people away from you. Even though the life we're looking at, you were a female in a time when male were mostly artists, you became very good at your art when you were older, and you were doing real art. I mean, as in, I think handicrafts, and I think some of the needlework from older times is absolutely incredible. Some of the tapestries are just gorgeous, but I think for you felt like your good luck and the things that went well for you receded as you got older in that life, and that may be one reason why you're having sometimes the more successful you get in this life in your pursuits, the more insecure you become because you're remembering this past life. So I'm going to do a yes, no on this. And okay. Do you have permission to douse? Okay. I just asked if I had permission to douse. And are we safe? Okay. Now, is she being enlightened today about this so that she can let go of those leftover insecurities from the past? No, because you've had a sense of that. That's what the pendulum just told me. Let's see. Of all the petals around this flower that's in the middle of the oracle garden here, what is the one she needs to know most about using her artistic power now? That it's safe to do it and be powerful. That's what happened before when you would do it and it was a more in a more male dominated world. It wasn't safe. But you can do whatever you want now, girl, because we're going into the divine feminine. So you have a good time and just push your art as far as you want. And yes, you have those feelings left over from past lives. This time around, I'm an energy healer, and this is was a I had to cut this question because Josephine told her before I'd seen she was a doctor. And this time around, I'm a Reiki healer, a Theta practitioner, and a crystal healer. Do you see me expanding my clients? And use a different set of tarot cards, but they're traditional tarot. They have traditional tarot symbols. And they were the closest ones to me. And I got to put all the cards in the deck. Wouldn't do, it's like, what is that old song that used to say, playing solitaire till dawn with the deck of 51. You got to have all your cards in here for it to work, kids. So we got them all in. And we're going to see. Okay, you've got 3 practices, so I'm going to put 3 sets of cards out. Okay. Improvement with Reiki Master. Yeah. Your problem with Reiki Master is freeing yourself. Improve and grow your client's base as a Theta practitioner. There's ultimately more money in Theta, but people don't understand what it is. So you're going to have to do a little more explanation for people on that one. And then Crystal Healer. Well, they're all pretty strong. This is a 3-3. Crystal Healer, you're good at explaining it to people. It is opening you up to meeting a new group of people so you don't feel like you're the only one out there. But look at the aces you have here. You have aces in Crystal Healer and Theta Practitioner. And you actually are going to feel more whole when you get them all worked out. But the best innate one is Reiki Master because people understand it. And you turned your back on a lot of other options. You poured your emphasis into that. You feel very confident working in that. And you've got the sun. Can't have a better card in the deck for anything. It makes you feel free. It stops you from feeling bound by things. And you don't feel like you have to be defensive about it. What I get about from the other 2 is you really like being a Theta practitioner, but it's more explaining to everybody else about being a Theta practitioner. But there is money in that. So if you want to emphasize and work that all together, I think I'd work all 3 of these as a balance to each other. And then crystals, you're preaching the choir when you're talking to me about crystals, but and crystals are definitely coming in from the cold and getting better understood by people. And that reminds me that sometime in the first quarter of 2024, I'm going to teach my tarot class again, starting in late January. And I'll have something on my website about that so you can figure that out. But the other thing I'm going to be doing as a part of working with crystals and hopefully getting people to understand them better, I'm going to teach a 6-week course. And the culmination of the course is you should be able to build your own crystal grid with some understanding of the sacred geometry, the form, and the stones that go into it. So I'm hoping people want to know more about crystals. So we're in the same boat, dear. Okay, okay, let's see what direction. I'm trying to figure out the best way to. Okay, I'm going to go back to the cards I use most often, my Eileen Conley deck. We're going to do Direction in 2024. We do a Celtic cross. This is where you are today. This is far, far past. This is near past. This is far future. This is near future. And this is hopes and fears. An element going on right now that you could really benefit from. And these are the cards that lead to your outcome card, which I think is you, but it's a little reversed right now. The problem is you followed all the rules and you feel strongest when you're following all the rules. But some of the rules were laid down for you by a woman master who was not positive, and you've been able to make your way through that and survive doing it okay. But that's why you're feeling stuck, because you feel like I'm stuck with a book of rules. I'm strong enough to do them, but I don't really want to because it's at the base. It wasn't my own choice. Your near future is great. It's transformation, transition. It means moving out of where you are and moving into a complete change. And that's what you really have to do. You have to quit worrying about the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune goes up and down. So what you need to do is work the very best you can with what you have going on right now. And then you haven't found a mentor. And that's what I think this is key to me to how you're going to get out of this. You need to find a mentor who can help you define your goals and where you want to head out to, because you have innately within you all the ability to make all of the value and money that you can. But the direction in your life you're not sure about. So you need to find a mentor or find a discipline or find someone who can help guide you to that. Because right now, because you're rejecting a mentor and you're kind of setting goals and then not really following through on them, the aces always mean beginnings. But the Ace of Swords in particular is a difficult beginning because you start moving towards things and then you stop and you worry, and that's where you get into your worried thoughts, and you don't take the straight path forward. If you can change that to the straight path forward, but even if you do change that to the straight path forward, you're going to find there are road bumps in the way, and there's going to be places where you get to and you have to stop. And that with this sword is a good thing. It means it's telling you reconsider and look at it, because you've got a couple of choices. It's giving you a chance to pick the very best. But this is the card you need to turn. And one of the things I love about Tarot is if any card on here you say, hell no, I don't want that. Well, no, you're going to go find yourself a mentor. You're going to quit worrying about the Wheel of Fortune. And if you do that, it's all going to slide up to you being a new you instead of being ruled by the temperament of this, whatever this feminine energy was that pushed you when you were younger. So my guidance to you is look around, see what floats your boat, what you find interesting. And because whatever you apply yourself to, you will do well at. You don't have to do the conventional. You don't have to do it like everybody else does. And that's why you're feeling stuck, because you feel like you're not living up to your true potential. And it's true, you're not. Okay. Hi, would you please do reading on my health issues? Or if not, can you please do a general reading? I'm going to do a general reading because when I first read this, that's the one that caught my eye more than a health reading. So let's see if Latokus is going to find balance in the near future, because that's what I have a feeling is your health issues, your balance issue. And I'm going to look at this. I may send you over to visit Dr. Gail at Skywalking with Moon, because she does a lot of real good healing by doing energy healing. And she's got Solaris Healing Center, and it's really good. And she talks about energies, and I have a feeling that's what you need to do. Let's see. And it says, quit talking about her health issues so it can do a good general reading. Now my cards will shuffle. So it really didn't want me to read your health issue. Not because I think it's bad, because I think it's not the problem. But what's going to be going on around? New beginnings starting in the spring, meeting new people, making new choices. Okay. You've got great new beginnings coming this spring. And things have been flowing along pretty comfortably, but now things are out of joint and you're really trying to figure out why. And this is your near future, and it's Queen of Pentacles. And it's because you need to become your own person. And there's some stubbornness about you that doesn't want to make a lot of changes. You are resisting your hopes and fears. You're resisting creating new partnerships with people. And you've got so many twos. Good Lord. And that's all about balance. You're balancing some money right now. I think you've had what you thought were economic downturns. Those were actually the universe finally saying, move on, because where you are is not the best place for you to be expending your power in the outside world. And if you do that, you can get out of the stormy siege that you feel yourself, that you're locked in. But part of your problem is your little OCD, and you really like to control and run everything. And you have to relax and let other people take part in that. You have to share yourself with other people, which is this problem you're carrying forward. And your hopes and fears is not wanting to really work with other people. You have to open your mind up to sharing with them, because you see your brightest card here in the middle is the Lovers, which is not just bringing a lover in, but it's bringing a lot of people in a loving environment and sharing with them equally. So, and I think when you do all that, you'll be focused on something, so you're not so worried about your health issue. I think your health issue is something you need to pursue and look at and make sure it's okay. But I don't think your health issue is the issue. I think the issue is the one between your ears that's saying, I have to control everything. You can't. And you don't really want to. You want to share. Well, I know when you sit down in the dark of night, you don't want to share, but you need to learn how to share. Trust me, I have had those issues too. Good vibrations therapies. I'd like a reading of the energy and potential path of my current relationship. Feels like it's meant to be for both of us. Okay, let's see about good vibrations therapy, her relationship. Okay, we're going to do Spirit 7 and see how you two are interconnected, because I got very clearly that you're interconnected to each other. I mean, like over time, like karmic time. Okay. Yeah, you two have been around with each other before. This is the past life, and this is your current life. And this is a card that changes most often in this reading. It's how far have you gotten? And you've gotten pretty far. You've gotten to the point you're not keeping score on each other, and you're learning how to get along. But from the past life, one was a control freak. You really had a whole lot of things happen, but part of the way that you or your partner controlled each other was with lies. And you could have had everything in that life if you had not wanted to control everything and told lots of tall tales to each other. So you had a relationship based on not the truth. This time you came in not expecting, now this 10 of coins right side up or upside down, I still think it means a certain level of prosperity. But when you first met him, you didn't trust him or her, whoever the partner is, but you didn't trust him. And so you've waited patiently, and you've planted the crops, and you've taken your time, and yes, you can trust them. And it is based because you have not allowed yourselves to slip into the habit of lying or having to wanting to control. I think in part, I get a feeling you were a female in the past life I'm looking at. And part of the reason that you wanted to control everything, so he would tell you lies because there's no way that they could deal with your OCD behavior otherwise. So, and you're better and you're doing okay. So this may mean that in this life, as far as I can tell, I mean, he's the King of Wands hung around long enough to get past the barriers you put up from remembering your past life. And then we got, okay, Barbara Odom wants a past life reading. So, it's Barbara Odom, past life reading, male or female? Oh, you were a guy big time. Okay. Was this a past life that's before the year 1000? Yes. So was it between 0 to 500 AD? Well, Common Era, what they call it. Okay. Was it from 0 to 100 Common Era? No. 100 to 200 Common Era? No. 200 to 300 Common Era? Okay. Was it in the first half of 300 CE Common Era? Was that when you were alive? Yes. Okay. I'm just doing this as a hit. What was she Egyptian? Was he Egyptian? Yes. Okay. So, what can you tell me quickly about the Egyptian male born in the first half of 300 Common Era that was in Egypt, that is now romping around as Barbara? What's the important things I need to know to be able to help her understand it? Okay. Okay. You were ambivalent about all the male roles you had to play in Egypt at the time. You were very outgoing and pushy and aggressive in your early years, but as you got older and you aged, you gained some really true knowledge. And I think you were like a priest in a temple. And you had clear ideas about how people progress from life to life. And I'm going to throw this one again because it landed on a nothing. Your clarity came from you understanding that the formal faith that you were involved with was a limiting belief. And the way I would circle this forward, and if I had more time, I could do it with great more accuracy. But you were a priest, and you went into the priesthood very, very young, and you glommed onto all of the beliefs they told you. This is the petrified wood. This is that part. But you gained the wisdom, the incredible wisdom we have from Amber. And then you got clarity that there was a lot of stuff that had happened in past lives, but you felt like they were limiting it. I think you felt like all they gave credence to was people who had a lot of wealth about past lives, and you felt that was very limiting. It became a limiting belief. It didn't open up the world of spirit to everyone. And I imagine right now, one of the things you like is that the world is opening up to the kind of spiritualism you felt all the way back to somewhere. You were born somewhere between 300 and 350 before Common Era. And I'm getting 320, but no telling because we didn't keep calendars and clocks the same way. So, oh dear. I just heard a knocking on my neighbor's wall, but I think he's home putting up Christmas decorations. I hope so. I don't want to know what else is knocking on my walls at this point. You felt like the beliefs you were raised with were limited, and I think you're going through that kind of an arising of your sense of self in this lifetime too. Whatever faith you were raised in, you've walked away from it to some extent because it was spiritually not inclusive. That's a whole lot to get out of a few little stones, I want you to know. So this is just, do I see your husband getting a job in Rome, Italy? I'm going to use my other pendulum because this is my old-timey and death pendulum. I'm going to get out my pendulum. This is the oldest pendulum I own. It must be close to 50 years old. So once again, away from me will be yes, and this is her husband going to get his job in Rome? Yeah, but okay. Yes, it's swinging yes and forth, but it's swinging a bit this way, which means this would be towards no. So it's going to take longer than you think. So don't be screaming at me for the next 3 months when it does come through. It's going to come through. Just be a little more patient. I think you've been very patient to this point, but what a fun place to go, Rome. Okay. Now, okay, this is me, and I don't need the board to talk about this. So I'm going to change the camera angle to my pretty face. At least I think it's a pretty face. And coming off the full moon on December 26th, use this time to set new spiritual goals and to evaluate whether the goals you have been following are working, or could they use some tweaking. And I have one more banner I want to put up. Okay. And I'm going to explain this one to you. I'm going to look through the questions. One of the things that you can do right now, people don't come talking to me. Okay. Just don't do it. On the 15th of October, when you say, oh, woe is me, and you're hand wringing about the elections. And how did we end up with the same doofus people we had last time? How did they end up on the ballot? If you want to clean up the ballot in your area, learn about the primaries in your area. And the primaries, for the most part, across most of the U.S., some in South Carolina, and well, the caucuses and stuff, and Iowa and New Hampshire will be in January. So, and then there'll be some elective primaries. Primaries being where you go cast a ballot and you do it one time. Caucus being where you have to go take your own little, trundle your own little body to a place and do your vote. Look up what's in your area, because I don't keep them. Some I do know in my head because I've worked on them, but some I don't. So figure out what you got. And then there's a place called Ballotpedia, and you can Google it and it will take you there. And Ballotpedia has the best information for elections. When they started 6 or 7 years ago, they would send out to every person who shows up, a lot of, like in Texas, if you're going to be on the ballot, you've had to have registered by now to be on the ballot. They sent everyone who's registered on a ballot the same questionnaire depending on the kind of office you're looking for. And you can go, and Ballotpedia puts all their questions, what the answers are to their questions. And I'll tell you 2 things I do. I read them for everybody who sends it in. And if someone doesn't send it in, I'm not at all likely to vote for them, because the people who don't bother to let you know what they're going to do don't want to work for you. They want to work for a political party they think is going to put them into power. So please understand that. And this is something you can do right now to look for ways to be helpful. Okay. I've got a couple here. I'm going to go star. But this is, I'm telling you right now, go to Ballotpedia. I talk about this a lot when I work with Scott, and I don't normally talk politics on Tuesdays. But we need everybody, especially the spiritual people. Put yourself out there. Let your energy flow through and see what you feel about what these people are saying. See if you feel like it's a good deal. And we've got one I saw. No snow in Denver. Okay. Angela says, oh, but Angela's very sweet. She lives in a centigrade world, but she turns it into Fahrenheit. And she's got 30 degrees Fahrenheit. That's nice. That's Finland. I'm going to do a real quick reading on this one. I've got, and I don't know why I did it, but I pulled out, and you can see it on the side of my table, my Talking to Heaven, which is the deck for people to connect with those on the other side. It's how I prefer to do it. Let's see what Neru's mother. I'm sorry about your loss. I really am. A lot of moms passing. I've done 3 different people for 12-month readings who had lost a parent in the last month. And needless to say, they had some pretty interesting coming up months. One woman didn't tell me that's what had happened until I went through it. And I said, why are you going to be grieving for the first third of the year? And she said, I didn't tell you, but this is why. And it was. Okay, your mom has a real interesting, you're feeling very guilt-ridden, and you're saying, it was my fault. And your mom's saying, no, it was not your fault. And what that card translates to, it's not your fault. Please do me a really big favor. Stop beating yourself up, thinking that you somehow could have been there and done something to stop my death. No way are you responsible for that. You are not. It's so hard from earthly level to understand the spiritual elements of life. No matter what you think, you could not have done or made any different changes in time. I would have left anyway. I am releasing you from any responsibility for my leaving. Please let go of that guilt. It will make both of us feel better. The universe is perfect in its makeup, and we all need to think that it's a coincidence, but it's not. It's God's way of remaining anonymous. Trust me. Be kind to yourself, knowing that what I share with you will always be true. So if you're getting messages from her, for some reason, maybe you'd have thought if I'd gotten there, if I'd been there to help her with her doctor, all the things we rack our brains about when we lose someone, that's not true. They go when they go, and your mom's trying to say, please. Oh, and this is nice. She's enjoying the 9 candles. And I've got another person who wants a card from Talking to Heaven. I guess that's my job today. And I'll try to get to the questions that shown up quickly. The other thing is I'm doing 12-month readings, which you can book through my website. You can also email me at crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com. Whether you go to the website or my email, they're all long addresses, so you're not sparing yourself anything either way. But if you'd like to go and see them, to see and so far, my 12-month readings have all been very good, and I've really enjoyed them. And oh, and you're another one. Your mom says you have nothing to feel guilty about. A lot of that going around today. You have nothing to feel guilty about. And this is the message that comes with this card. And it says, sweetheart, I see you torturing yourself with what if questions concerning my health, my life, my passing. You wonder whether you could have intervened and I'd still be in my physical body. I'm standing next to you right now to soothe away those thoughts. It's so important for you to understand that you had nothing. You did nothing wrong, that my physical passing was divinely timed, and that you couldn't have changed anything. Please don't burden yourself with guilt any longer. Candy Mullen, your mom's talking to you. If it's your mom. Guilt doesn't undo anything. I've forgiven myself for everything that I think I did that I didn't do, but in the end, I learned everything is already forgiven. And I pray that you too will forgive yourself because you are very much loved and understood by me on this side. So, just saying. And I'm going to go to Bernie Girl. Will I get a new job or promotion? I'm going to lay these cards out in front of me instead of switching cameras. Well, Bernie Girl, get a new job or promotion. And I'm putting a sort of a 3-month limit on this because you could get one in 25 years, but that's not going to, you're going to be mad at me for 24 and a half. So, oh, yeah. Oh, this is kind of odd because, okay. Yes, because you've been stalwart and temperate and balanced and you gave up, you thought you were going to go one place, you're going to go another, that you weren't expecting it. But it's got great money, great values for you, and you're going to get this job from a person you've had kind of backstabbing meetings with. But what happened is they stabbed you in the back, you didn't stab back. So they kind of trust you. You're going to be not so trustworthy of them. But it's going to be great because the job you have now, you have a whole lot of responsibility and no authority to make it happen. And where you're moving up into authority, where you can make it happen. And I had a couple of these in a row. I love meeting your friend last night. If you didn't watch last night's show, it was a friend of mine named Sherilyn, who's been my friend for 45 years. And I talked about how, for me, she's a human angel. You know, you often hear we have angels come in our life. She's always shown up when I needed an angel and has always been there for me. And I've tried to do the same thing back for her. And so thank you for come over to watch the blue candles. Even if you've missed the first 6, you'll learn something every time. Okay. Linda Frazier, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight your question and put it on the next time because we have less than 7 minutes left in this reading and I want to do a decent job on yours. So I'm going to highlight it and catch it. She's asking for past lives. And I'm going to go down the chain some more. And everybody's saying hi to everybody. And it's a good season to do that and make everyone feel loved and concerned. Okay, this is how do I get, you need to, right now, Madhu, you need to start working with the full moon energy that comes in on the 26th. And this is a letting go moon. And it's also in Cancer, which is hearth and home and very things that are very close to us. And I always find when that's the energy that's in that kind of moon, you can look at the things close to you that are most where you might feel most vulnerable and start with a list. This is a great time to kick off 2024 because after the first of the year until into April, we only have we have a 22-day period where Uranus is retrograde. And after the 22nd of January, there are no retrograde planets. And if you watch day 9, Audrey and I discuss the importance of that happening. So if you want to make 2024 work for you, first of all, get rid of that nasty word against me. Think of the energies of 2024 that can work for you. And it's going to be kind of a interesting, energetic time. But if you greet each day positively, it's going to reflect much more easily back on you. If there's something you really want to do or get done, do it between the 23rd of January and the first week or so of April. And that will help you the most. And hide. And I'm going to go get rid of that one. And okay, listen to Jean Orstano. Spirit has been cleaning house for growth. Are we all done with pushing yet? It's been a lot. And what she's saying is really right. Don't think you can put the square peg in the round hole. You need to visualize where you want to go and work with your elements that way, and open yourself up for growth. Thank you, Jean. I know you had a bad storm. She lives over in the East Coast where they've been having nasty bad storms. And oil painter's going to go walk in the snow. Now she's lurking driving. Okay. And let's see. Thank you, Bernie girl. I really appreciate it. You know, guys, this, with the exception of the readings I do, which I do a lot of readings, and I'm grateful I have that flow of income. All the stuff I do for you guys is to do something for the universe. And I hope that you'll appreciate that when you're thinking about what we're doing. When I teach my class on how to build a grid, which is really going to be about sacred geometry, numbers, balance, understanding the basic crystals, and then how to build your own grid. That'll be a Patreon, and that will be charged for, because that's way too much information. I've been working on this curriculum for 2 months already. Do elementals like gifts, offerings? Yes, they love candy. The fairies love little bits of chocolate, but I wouldn't put chocolate out. I'd put other kinds of candies, because chocolate's not good for some animals. And so, I mean, not that I know that I think sugar is, considering I do keto. So it's sort of like feeding them something you wouldn't put in your own mouth. But they also like sound. They like recognition. They like having you say, what should I do about this? And then listening. They're like all of us. They like to feel that some other element, some other person, some other creation is paying attention. And I think that's kind of where we all are at the end of the day. And I hope all of you have a lovely day. I may or may not come on. I may or may not come on before New Year's. Quite honestly, putting the 9 candles together, I packed up the last bundle and sent it to tech support, so it will be up on the 8th night, and then we already have the 9th night in the can, and it's done. It's just so lovely to get that wrapped up. And I had a really good session with Anne Perry, the numerologist, for night 8, and she goes through. She tells you how to figure out what personal year it is for you, and then it's the longest candle show I've ever done. We went through year by year. If your personal year is a 1, what's the elements of a 1 year in a universal 8 year? It's really a lot of really good information. So come look for that. And then Audrey and I take a look at 2024 and talk about what we can help and what we can't. And like I said, tonight's Danny, and Danny's always fun. And Danny spent a lot of time. He talked to his guides about what to speak about. So I'll try, Dale, I'll try to talk a little bit more about the elementals, because that's a big part of the blue light that's coming in, is the elementals are coming in with it, along with the Lyrans. But and that's kind of it. If I don't see you, and I probably won't see you before Christmas, y'all have a Merry Christmas. And or if you celebrate Christmas, if not, just have a very merry December 25th. And then I'll be doing some stuff after the 25th. But thank y'all for being here, and thank you for supporting me. I didn't realize that I left my 3rd anniversary day, which was December 5th, slip right by me. Didn't have a show, didn't do anything. Just said, been here 3 years. Yay. And so grateful to have met all of you and getting to know all of you and having you be part of my life. And with that, I'll sign off. I'll be back on at premiere at 7 o'clock this evening on this channel. See you then. Bye.